interesting that happens, and we're going to hit a pace here in just a minute that I'll need you to keep up, because it's going to take a lot to deal with what we're going to deal with today, okay? Joshua 5, beginning at the first verse, we'll read down through the 9th verse, says this. It says, "And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel, until we passed over, that their heart melted, neither was there spirit in them any more because of the children of Israel. At that time the Lord said unto Joshua, Make these sharp knives," notice not dull knives, sharp knives, okay? "Make these sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time. And Joshua made him sharp knives, and circumcised the children of Israel at the heel of the foreskins. And this is the cause why Joshua did circumcise. All the people that came out of Egypt that were males, even all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way after they came out of Egypt. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war which came out of Egypt were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord." I need you to make note of that part right there. However you highlight, mark, whatever you do with your Bible. "Because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord, unto whom the Lord sware that he would not show them the land, which the Lord sware unto their fathers, that he would give us, a land that floweth with milk and honey. And their children, whom he raised up in their stead." I need you to mark and then make note of that. "Their children, whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised. For they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the way. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places in the camp till they were whole. And the Lord said unto Joshua, This day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day." Now understand this. When you came out of what has been holding you back, when you began to take new steps and new strides to get to where you are now, before you got away from what was holding you back, God circumcised you. He cut back some thought processes. He cut back some friends. He cut back some situations, so that those things couldn't come with you into your wilderness. Because truth be told, if they'd have came with you in the wilderness, your wilderness would have ended up taking you even longer. And I know that's hard to even think about. You mean this could have lasted even some more time? Yep. Yeah. Sure could have. But he circumcised you in bondage, so that when you got released from bondage to go to the wilderness to get your marching orders for your new place, he circumcised you so that when he got ready to circumcise you again, there wasn't a bunch of excess Egypt on you. See, some of you still trying to run around with that excess Egypt on you. You're still trying to keep old relationships, and you're still trying to keep old connections, and you're still trying to keep all of that stuff in place and go into your promised land. It ain't gonna work. Okay? It won't work. That's why he did that with them. He said, with this mindset right here, I'm gonna have to let you die off before I give you what I promised. Because here's what God's making sure of. He says, I will not give my glory to another, and I'm not going to let my promise look bad. Because see, if he puts his promise into the hands of someone who doesn't value it, you're going to abuse it. Now watch, because this is what I need you to see. Look back at verse 5. It says, all the people that came out were circumcised. All of the people that came out of Egypt were circumcised. But the people that were born in the wilderness by the way. I love you. Even in your wilderness time, you've picked up some folk that don't need to be around you. Told you it might get brutal. I gotta mellow a little bit, but I love you. You picked up some folk that although they weren't in Egypt with you, they might as well have been, because they brought it with them and hooked up with you, and it's worse than what you had before. And then you have those days to where everything goes good when they're not around.
Yes.
And then when they come back around, those days go back to feeling just like it was when you were in Egypt.
Yes.
But you ain't ever had that happen. You don't have anybody in your life that feels like that. But that's what I'm trying to show you. See, he's letting them know, you had some things born in the wilderness that I got to circumcise from you. It's not that you're not in the right spot. It's not that you're not even where you belong. It's that you're not circumcised yet. The second time. See, and that's what he's trying to show you about your seasons. There's a time and a season to everything under the sun. So if he gives you what you've been promised before it's time, it's not going to turn out good. So he says, I'm not going to give this to you before it's time. I'm going to grow you up first. And by growing you up, I'm going to size you down. Because I'm going to circumcise you. I'm going to cut away some excess. Here's why I need for you to see that. Because last week we stated that what you see with your eyes is sight. And what you see with your thinking is vision. What you see with your eyes is sight, and what you see with your thinking is vision. And everybody looks with their thinking before you try to run down the road and, well, yeah, you do it. It just, in most cases, you do it in a negative way. And in doing it in that negative way, then that begins to have you thinking that vision is a bad thing. So then you start saying stuff like, well, I'm just going to deal with it when it comes. Here's the whole thing. If you dealt with everything that you have now as it came, you wouldn't have any of what you have right now. You wouldn't have 1 ounce of anything if you just dealt with it as it came, because here's the whole idea. Why would the scripture say, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened? Why would he tell you to do those things in an advancing state if all we were to do was to just sit back and deal with that as it comes? What man planning to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost? So see, you can't just have a mentality of, I'll deal with it when it comes, about everything. You can't do that. After you've planned and done it and laid it out the way you're supposed to lay it out, then you can begin to back off and say, Lord, walk me through the plan. Walk me through what you've shown me. Walk me through the vision that you've given me from what I'm looking at. Because here's We're about to take off, okay? See, what you see with your vision and your thinking either establishes your hope or it establishes your despair. But what you see with your thinking and with your vision, it either establishes your hope or it establishes your despair. You get discouraged. You start looking at things in the wrong way, and you all of a sudden start getting discouraged. You start getting mad. You start getting emotional. You start wanting to grab somebody. Now, of course, y'all don't feel like that. Y'all too holy for that. You want to grab somebody and not induce prayer, okay? But of course, once again, y'all ain't ever thought like that. Now, understand this. The reason that's so important for you to recognize that what you see with your vision and with your thinking either establishes your hope or establishes despair is because that is a part of your catalyst for your promised place. See, you got to get to the point to where you actually want what's been promised to you. Because if you don't want what's been promised to you, what's been promised to you won't